We have a potential Zaire-Emery bid. Manchester United could be looking at him as a surprise third midfielder. We will get into that straight away. Also, Chelsea have effectively put a bid in for Alex Scott that has been rebuffed by Bournemouth, upwards of 60 million. Are Manchester United now essentially out of that race if Chelsea are willing to put money down on the table for Scott? I've also got a poll running in the comment section as well. Kone, Scott, Camavinga or Zaire-Emery. We've been linked to Zaire-Emery. Camavinga could be back on the table after Rodri is looking for that Real Madrid move. He really is. If that moves, Camavinga could be on the table. Would you want him? Alex Scott, would you be disappointed to miss out on him? And obviously Kone, we know. We could just go for Kone and go and get him now if Manchester United really wanted to. Is there a reason why they're not doing that? But do you want him? Vote in the poll. Also, the Somerville signing is off. We'll explain why in a second. I'm quite happy that we're not getting him after the latest developments that's happened with his move. And because it's an 8 p.m. show, and I always hear Goldbridge saying, I thought I'll bring some of that into my show. It is a bit of a different show, but I'll bring some interactivity in as well. We want it to be as interactive as possible. Centre-backs, Manchester United might be forced into the market after Lisandro Martinez's injury, and I really think there's a higher likability United could sign a centre-back now. There is money there. United are not stopping in this market yet. Nathan Salt did report United still have multiple positions that they want to go and get. Well, they better hurry up because it's a month until the Premier League kicks off. Let's get into it, everyone. Got loads to get into. Starting off, I want to bring in the hottest topic, I would say. I don't know if it's the most likely, but it came out from the Manchester Evening News, so I thought I'd bring it in, and it is about Zaire-Emery. PSG young midfielder, if they did sell him to Manchester United, it is effectively pure profit for them because he's come through the academy, he's homegrown. So Zaire-Emery, PSG, if they sold him, that could look very, very good on their books. If that's something they were looking to do regarding their financial situation, I think they're quite healthy. But he is pure profit. This is what came out from the MEN. Manchester United are reportedly weighing up a €60 million, which will translate to £51 million, offer for Paris Saint-Germain star Warren Zaire-Emery. Old Trafford Chiefs first considered a move for the midfielder back in 2023. So that was when he was just 17. And it looks as though he could be targeted as the third midfielder this summer. Would this shock you? Would this excite you? To be honest, it would excite me. I think he's a cracking young player. I mean, it is getting a very young player and he's got experience. He's sort of on the fringes at PSG, isn't he? I mean, it's difficult to get into the midfield of Ruiz, Vitinha and João Neves. I mean, some of the best midfielders in the world wouldn't get into that midfield. It's absolutely incredible. They've got that ticking right over with Luis Enrique. It's fantastic. And, you know, they've won back-to-back Champions Leagues. That's how good it is. Rest of the team, of course, is fantastic as well. But Zaire-Emery's sort of on the fringes there. He was on the fringes on the French national team as well. Is he someone you would like? Could I imagine United going for it? I could imagine them looking at him because if you can get him for a decent price, I think you'd have to pay more than 50 million, to be honest with you. And would you be comfortable with doing that? That's the price that's being quoted here. If you could get him for a decent price, he's 20 years of age. He's got a lot of talent. He's an all-rounder of a midfielder. You know, if he took the Premier League by storm and Manchester United could nurture him, and that would mean Manchester United would have to nurture a talent, you could have a seriously, seriously good player on your hands. So I think United would be interested. We have pulled targets out of the woodwork that maybe journalists haven't picked up on before. Tielemans, Santos, even though we've tried for him previously, he sort of came out the blue. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is one that has crept round the corner and sort of come out of the blue for Manchester United. Warren Zaire-Emery, let me know your thoughts. And I know a lot of people are talking about learner drivers. I know a lot of people are talking about how he's not an out-and-out six. He's not an out-and-out six. However, and this is how the show sort of weaves together, the article by Nathan Salt in the Daily Mail, which I'm going to bring in a little bit later in the show, there's been multiple reports now from multiple journalists that Michael Carrick wants to play more controlled football, and even alluding to replicating that PSG midfield where they kill you with the amount of possession that they have and how technically good they are on the ball. You can't get the ball off them. That's how he wants to build his midfield. He doesn't want to be a transition team anymore. Of course, that can be fantastic and we can definitely resort to that. We've got the players who can do so. And this is where you're going to have a mix of different players. Like Rashford isn't a possession-based player. He's a transition player. Bruno Fernandes is a transition player, really. But Carrick wants to also be able to dominate games and be technically sound in the midfield and not have to rely all the time on counter-attacking football. And there's been multiple reports alluding to that PSG-style midfield. And could Zaire-Emery come into that? Could us being linked to Alex Scott come into that? He's not necessarily an out-and-out number 6. The amount of comments I got on the 2 p.m. show live outside Old Trafford. Alex Scott isn't a number 6 though. We're not really looking at that defined number 6. And Andre Santos has been talked about as that number 6 for Manchester United. We want midfielders. Well, Carrick wants midfielders that are very good on the ball. So he's one to watch for sure. The little piece in the MEN also goes on to say, with the likes of Sandro Tonali, Elliot Anderson and Mateus Fernandes moving for significant fees, United will have to fork out to make another signing, but Zaire-Emery could be the solution. The 20-year-old has been on the fringes at PSG, which could help United strike a deal. According to French outlet Top Mercato, he is highly rated by those at the club, so much so that a 51 million approach is being prepared in order to see PSG's stance on the sale. So very highly regarded apparently internally at Manchester United. The report goes on to say that the European champions value him closer to 80 million euros, which would be 68 million pounds. Zaire-Emery made 54 appearances in the 25-26 season, followed by 109 minutes at the World Cup for France. He is still only 20 years old. You've got to understand that. And he's a fantastic talent. I'd be open to this move, I really would. But it is putting your faith in another learner driver. But the experience he's had at 20 and the talent he's got is fantastic. I would be up for this deal, I'm going to be completely honest with you. And if you're looking at 70 million, yes, you're looking at the high side. I prefer the 51 million pound number that United are apparently preparing, according to the MEN. But Alex Scott's going to cost you like 70 million. I mean, who would you guys prefer? Quickly, I know the poll's running for all the options there, but quickly, just fire in your comment into the live chat. Zaire-Emery or Alex Scott, fire it in right now. Alex Scott is 22, if I'm not mistaken. He's got Premier League experience, which works in his favour. Zaire-Emery is 20, but he's got Champions League experience. And, he's a top player, so top potential player as well. So get your comments in who you would prefer out of them 2 players. I don't know how likely this deal is, to be honest with you, but I could see this being the type of player that is up Manchester United's sleeve. We've got Emery, Scott, Premier League proven, Scott. Someone's putting in Baleba as well. You just can't help yourself, can you? It's looking like Baleba is sort of off the table, and I think Carrick's probably put a pin in that as well. Carrick is looking, and you know what? This is where Ricky would say, well in Michael. By the way, Ricky's been WhatsApping me, saying Michael knows what he's doing. Have trust in Michael. There's people saying Michael Carrick pulled the plug on the Ederson deal because he knew he needed something different. That's a bit tongue-in-cheek. He felt it. The medical was what stopped that deal from happening. You know what I mean? But Michael Carrick, he wants technically good footballers. That's why Andre Santos was signed. That is why Yuri Tielemans is signed. And it's really interesting when you read this article with Nathan Salt that we're going to go through, how much say Carrick might be having behind the scenes, which people don't think he is, but he's definitely, the recruitment team makes the final decision. There's no doubt about that. But he's definitely being listened to, I think.
For Somerville, many people say that advanced talks, concrete talks, negotiations ongoing with Manchester United, but the reality, guys, is that Manchester United, until they have Marcus Rashford in that position, they are not advancing for any winger. So at the moment, Manchester United are not proceeding. For Ismail Assar, many links, but at the moment, still nothing concrete. Because Rashford at the moment is a Man United player, because there are no active talks for an exit, then if a bid arrives, we have to see what happens. But Crescencio Somerville, who is close to joining Al Hilal after Roma bid during the World Day, but now also Al Hilal have an agreement in place with West Ham United, for sure this is the same situation. Man United are not advancing until Marcus Rashford is there. Then, more to mention, guys, it's also about Manchester United and midfielders. We had links with Warren and Zaire-Emery, but my understanding is that Paris Saint-Germain are not planning to change anything in midfield. So Paris Saint-Germain want to stay with the players they have in midfield right now. They got a new deal done for Fabian Ruiz. They are working on several things at the club, but at the moment in midfield they are very happy with the department they have. So at the moment the Zaire-Emery story is difficult, is complicated. Then, if Man United at some point will enter the race for Zaire-Emery, I will be here and tell you. But at the moment, I will mention Zaire-Emery more as kind of dream target than real target for Manchester United. Manu Kone is different. Manu Kone is different because for Manu Kone, Man United had contacts with the camp of the player. So there were conversations last week, I told you. It was an exclusive story here on the channel last week. Now the conversations continue, but Man United have to wait to understand how much they can spend on the defensive midfielder. As soon as they can decide how much they spend on a defensive midfielder, and as soon as they clarify who is the wanted player, then Man United will go for the next steps. At the moment, Manu Kone remains on Manchester United list, but still no bid to Roma, no club-to-club negotiations. That's the situation for Manu Kone as of today. If you see reports of 85-90 million euros for Manu Kone, I'm told that it's not accurate. I'm hearing that the price tag would be lower for the French midfielder. So that's the situation around him. Then we have to see again how much Man United want to pay and how is going to be the situation for him in terms of different proposals, because it's not only Man United interested in Manu Kone, and could be an interesting situation to watch in the next weeks. Then guys, let me finish on Real Madrid, because over the last 2 weeks, Real Madrid have received more than 3-4 approaches from clubs from Spain, and not only, from what I'm hearing, also from abroad, interested in signing Franco Mastantuono on loan. Real Madrid are not interested in a permanent deal. So Real Madrid still believe in the player. They signed him 1 year ago. They know that he needs some time to develop and to adapt. But Real Madrid are going to discuss with Mastantuono, with his agent and with his family about the possibility of going on loan. So on a straight loan, not by option, not by obligation. A kind of Hendrik formula for Real Madrid, like another Hendrik. Go on loan, he went to Olympique Lyon. In this case, Mastantuono can decide he has offers from Spain, but also from abroad, and then return to Real Madrid. The club will discuss this directly with Mastantuono. There will be conversations. We will see what's going to happen, but Mastantuono could be the new Hendrik for Real Madrid in terms of loan, then come back to the club and get new opportunities. This is something they are going to discuss with the agents. Jose Mourinho is fully involved in these decisions for Mastantuono and for more players. So guys, on this and much more, we will be together as always to keep you updated in the next hours and days. Remember guys, as always, to let me know your opinion. Let me know your opinion, guys. Here in comments, like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.